Hey, how's it going, everybody? How are you doing today? It's kind of a nice, cooler Saturday out my ways. Temperatures seem to be dropping. Um, Something I figured we would get into today, be quite interesting, and something that we don't hear a lot about is Kamala Harris's dad, and his name is Donald J. Harris. Isn't that a coincidence? And her nemesis is Donald J. Trump. Wow, ain't that something? All right. So, Kamala Harris's father is, of course, of Jamaican descent. And they talk more about her mother, but she was raised primarily with her mother, her and her sister. So, with that being said, she didn't have a really close relationship with her dad growing up, except for the fact that she knew who he was, and he did spend summers and some weekends with her, but they were primarily in the care of their mom. And there was also a custody battle early on where he was like, "These are my kids. I want to take the responsibility of my children, and I want custody of them." And he went to court, and they fought for custody, and he lost because at the time there was the misconception that a father wouldn't do as good a job raising children as the mother would, or couldn't do it. Some they would just say, "Me and King raised kids," and courts would buy into that kind of stuff. And you guys must remember, this was in the early '70s, so and he was a black man, and he is a brother. I saw other pictures of him, and he's looks just like. And I'm all speaking like I'm all excited, but really, I was really wondering. And some people are saying, "Oh, he's of his Irish this." Well, look at his skin tone. Of course, he got some damn Irish in him, but they are in some way slave related because of the skin tone alone and the features. I mean, you can't say that didn't happen. But she has frequently spoke of her parents and framed her worldview raised on how she was raised, fighting for human rights. And just based on her dad being a college professor and a very liberal person, he is on the left, far left, and I believe that she has, because she's a pretty smart person. It looks like, in my opinion, she has taken her father's drive for civil rights, and his drive is probably as strong as it is coming from Jamaica and having to deal with, uh, I guess the English rule and the English racism that we deal with here, only coming from another white superpower. But when you look at the guy and you could figure he decided to migrate to the United States, and then when he did, he got over and he was like, "Oh my God, this is pretty bad." And it makes you want to fight. It makes you want to get involved. And you see people who look like you and who have been through what you've been through and what your ancestors have been through, and getting that kind of treatment. He was like, "Oh no, we ain't taking this." So it does look like he got active in civil rights, and probably because he was having doors slammed in his face, and he apparently seems to be a very ambitious person, and had no problem, pulling himself up like for real from his bootstraps. Uh, as she accepted her nomination to be president in 2024 Democratic National Convention, Kamala spoke of her father's encouragement of her from a young age. At the park, my mother would say, "Kamala, Kamala, stay close," she recalled. But my father would say, as he smiled, "Run, Kamala, run. Don't be afraid. Don't let anything stop you." And those are the things that she remembers from her earliest years, and being fearless. And that is just a really emotional little caption there. And you know, well, we'll get into that part later. But to go on, here's everything to know about Kamala Harris's father, Donald J. Harris. He was raised in Jamaica. Donald was born in 1938 and grew up in Jamaica before the country gained independence from the United Kingdom. He has remained proud of his heritage, even earning the country's third highest honor in August of 2021, when he was conferred with the Order of Merit, per the Jamaican Observer. That's a paper over there in Jamaica that we're noting as our fact check if you want to go back and find and confirm or reread any of this. He earned the award for international recognition for his contributions to the field of science, the arts, or literature, according to the site. Donald has spoken about taking his children to visit his home country when they were young, writing in his personal essay for Jamaica Global in 2018 that one of his fondest memories was his early 1970 visit to Orange Hill, Jamaica with Kamala and Maya. We trudged through the cow dung and rusted iron gates, uphill and downhill, along narrow, unkempt paths, to the very end of our family property. Ooh, they had property over there. That's nice. All in the eagerness to show the girls the terrain over which I had wandered daily for hours as a boy, he wrote. Her dad appears to be, obviously, a pretty intelligent guy, a college professor. Let's move on. Donald came to the U.S. to study at the University of California, Berkeley. When Donald was awarded a prestigious scholarship administered by the British colonial government, he broke from the usual recipient's tradition of attending school in Britain and chose to come to the U.S. He decided to pursue a doctorate economics at the University of California, Berkeley, choosing the school after reading about a group of activists traveling to the South to campaign for civil rights, he told the New York Times in September 2020. Further investigation of information about this university convinced me I had to go there, he said. He met Kamala's mother in school. At UC Berkeley, Donald joined the Afro-American Association, where he felt like he was introduced to the realities of Afro-American life in its truest and rawest form, its richness and complexity, wealth and poverty, hope and despair, he told the New York Times. It was there in the fall of 1962 that he met Kamala, her mother, Shamala, who was part of the group as a fellow student of color. We talked then, continued to talk at subsequent meetings, and at another and another, Donald said. The following year, the two got married. He's doing more than talking. Ooh, look at that. Donald was a professor of economics at Stanford University. Following his graduation from UC Berkeley, Donald took temporary teaching positions at two Illinois colleges, Northwestern University and the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. Champaign, Illinois, okay, at Urbana. He soon became a tenured professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, before returning to California in 1972 to become a professor of economics at Stanford University. Wow, he's a very accomplished man. There he taught radical political economics and was described as a Marxian economist by the Stanford Daily in 1974. Wow, they were, that's a pretty big newspaper. And during that time, they were doing stories on him about his economic theories and beliefs. Shortly after, he became the first black man to earn tenure at the school, teaching there for over 2 decades before retiring in 1998. Wow, he retired from Stanford in 1998, and he was the first black, is that period or man? Let's go back and look at that. The first black man to earn tenure at the school. Wow, at Stanford. That's historic. During his time as a professor, Donald continued to hold true to his roots in Jamaica and served as an economics policy consultant to the country's government and as an economics advisor to the number of Jamaican prime ministers. Wow, he was less present in Kamala and her sister's lives after his divorce. Oh, yeah. You know how that can be. And it's very unfortunate, too. But apparently, he's a very responsible father. He stayed in their lives. And let me go on with this article. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my place, you guys. There we go. While the family was living in Illinois, Kamala sensed that her parents' relationship was coming to an end, and she was just 5 years old at the time. She wrote in her 2019 memoir, The Truths We Hold. I didn't know she had I'm going to have to read that. But I'm sorry, I didn't know about it, but I really wasn't into her. I need to read that. Eventually, her mom moved back to California, and Kamala and Maya and Donald soon followed. However, in 1972, Kamala's parents officially split, and Kamala continued to live primarily with her mother, visiting Donald on weekends and in summers. Donald reflected on the change in his relationship with his daughters in his personal essay from Jamaica Global. Writing, damn, am I dyslexic? Writing that he felt it came to an abrupt halt. Wow. After a hard-fought custody battle in the family court of Oakland, California, the context of the relationship was placed within arbitrary limits imposed by the court order divorce settlement based on the false assumption by the state of California that fathers cannot handle parenting, he wrote. Nevertheless, I persisted, never giving up on my love for my children or reneging on my responsibilities as their father. Wow. That's refreshing and enlightening and nice of her father to have that kind of drive and love for his daughters. Donald has not spoken publicly about Kamala's campaign. Since Kamala's entered the public eye at a national level with her presidential bid and eventual vice presidential nomination in 2020, Donald has not commented on her political campaign or shown up at any of her rallies or events. He made an exception in February 2019 after Kamala made a joke about marijuana sharing in a radio interview. What the hell? Who wrote this? Sharing in a radio interview that she did smoke weed when she was younger. Half my family's from Jamaica. Are you kidding me? She said. Donald made a rare public comment condemning her joke in a statement shared to Jamaica Global. My dear departed grandmothers, as well as my deceased parents, must be turning in their grave right now to see their family's name, reputation, and proud Jamaican identity being connected in any way, jokingly or not, with the fraudulent stereotype of pot-smoking joy seeker in the pursuit of identity politics, he wrote. Wow. I mean, to not call her on the phone and straighten that out and have to make a statement that will go on and on to the break of dawn is pretty interesting there. Gosh, he just like broke it down. Huh? Hey, girl, you be out there embarrassing us like that? And that's something that happens to us African Americans in this country here, the blacks. And they do stuff to us, and then when we get sensitive about it, oh, you getting sensitive about it? Well, don't say it then. You know, he told her point blank where she can't say he didn't tell her. And we all know now, too. That was very telling how he feels about his heritage and her being disrespectful like that. Okay, and Kamala did not respond to the statement at the time. Since then, Donald has continued to stay out of the public eye, sharing in an email revealed by Politico in 2019 that he decided to stay out of all the political hullabaloo by not engaging in any interviews with the media. Wow. Isn't that something? So, yeah, he is completely not. But you would think that if she took his approach and really was mentored by him and followed his heart and what her dad believed, that she would be receiving phone calls and visits from him all the time, because he would be going down a path that, as a young student and a young professor, he felt the discrimination, and he knows the power. Your daughter is about to run for president, and you are that politically conscious that you taught at universities. You are an advisor on economics for your native Jamaica, and you ain't interested enough to get involved with your daughter. Tell her, hey, Kamala, we need to. Isn't that weird? I just find that that speaks volumes, and it doesn't say very much, but it just lets me know that what I assume, there's a possibility that it could be true. And I believe that she is telling the truth about her father and her mother to a certain degree, with the black movement and everything. I think her father is where all of that is really coming from. Her mother being a student of color and benefiting from going into that, only because she's dark too. She probably received some damn discrimination herself, but not like in a Afro American black kind of way. It's a little different, and to see any minority um, caucus with blacks is refreshing, but I'm always skeptical. I'm sorry. I'm That's one of those things that was passed down from me to me from slavery, and it's something I can't do nothing about. I'm initially suspicious of people and situations until I feel, you know, comfortable or have gained enough information to open up. But yeah, I find it really interesting that her dad isn't like all in, because he know that she's lying. He's looking at it from a standpoint of the reality, even though he knows more than I know. But I just look at a person who's a prosecutor. And there's only one prosecutor we've ever had out here in California, and they hated the hell out of him. And that's because he started unlocking cells and letting people go home without bailing out. And they were like, "Oh no, we can't do that. Because that's a bad prosecutor. You can't be a good prosecutor if you're letting people out of prison." So she is always touted as a very good prosecutor, top cop. Black people, wake up. If anybody in your family ever had to go to court, and on the day they go, the prosecutor gonna be there, that's not a good day. Prosecutors don't make us feel good unless they make a mistake and we get off by, some technicality. But they don't fight for us. She cannot tell me that she fought for us. You are fighting us. We know the difference. And obviously your dad does. Because I believe that would make me not call my daughter and not hang out with her, not hate her, not love her any less, but I would not participate in that foolishness when you know she's lying. You know that that's not her heart. You know that she isn't that type of candidate. And she's up there doing the "we shall overcome," we climbing to the mountaintop, all the civil rights energy that you can fit in a room, only to culminate in uh, abortion rights, gay rights, anything but black rights. But you get the black people up there to hype them up, and Al Sharpton, I know Donald Trump, so people can be like, "Ooh," and he don't like. Well, yeah, you used to hang out with him probably, but don't follow these people, guys, who are leading you down this path, because we all saw the Democratic. Go back and look at it again. It was kind of emotional. I saw people out there crying. I mean, it was emotional. It was a moment, and because of that, I just don't think that we should be supporting it. We just can't. We got to do better. We absolutely have to do better, guys. Kamala Harris is good, but she's not as good as Barrack, and there's no way. Barrack was the first. We never seen that before. And now he's just disrespectful. And he got Michelle. I guess she been lying all along, but Michelle just should have stayed in. She should have been like, nope, I am not about to burn my political capital for that. Don't do it. Say, no, I'm not doing it. But when you do it, then we know that we don't mean that much to you. And all that other stuff is questionable. You get caught in lying in a case, we have to check all your cases and see how you look. Because that's really, really bad to try to sell. Just the people who have been taking the advantage of the most in the history of this country, us, the most pain, the most murders, the most rapes, the most. Everything that hurt, we in first. We in the front of the line. And then Michelle Obama and her husband come along and they're just trying to push us further along. How much people like that when they sitting around with Beyonce and Jay-Z and Barrack and Michelle and when having drinks, do they talk about us? Or do they, are they a different color? What's going on with this, man? I can't believe that Oprah Winfrey would get up there and say that we're going to lose the country. We're going to lose the country. And I just had to come out and support her. She's burning all the political capital and putting her reputation on the line for Kamala. But she won't do that for black people. Oprah could come out for black people and just say, hey, man, y'all got to do better by these people. And I'm not going to. Why do black people get on the microphone and behave themselves so good? Why don't they get up there and be adversarial and protest on that mic? Take advantage of that moment. Say, you know what? While I'm on this mic real quick, and I fulfilled what they asked me to do. Now I'm going to say what I want to say. They'll be like, cut to commercial. But maybe it need to get to that point where black people start shutting it down and they start saying, uh-oh, it's a problem. Because right now it's not a problem. We're going along quietly. I wish we, would go when police pull up. I wish we went along that quietly. That maybe 2 or 3 wouldn't die. But shit, in most cases, even going along quietly don't help. But politically, we just going along quietly. We don't want to get in a DNC. It's a Democratic convention. You're supposed to go there like them people who are relatives of the people going through all that pain over there in Hamas. The Jewish people are going through pain as well. They want to come over here and they want to get in. We're so heavily involved in that situation. They want to come over here and get on the mic and address America and let everybody know we got pain and we appreciate what you're doing for us or whatever, or you ain't doing nothing for us. But let them speak. They let us speak all through that convention, and we didn't advocate for ourselves once. Who does that? You giving a mic and you don't advocate for your own damn self. Yeah. Alright, folks. I gotta end this one. I'm gonna go in the room and cry. It's just hard to believe that we really went out like that. But there's still time. We're counting down. I ain't counting the days no more. I'm counting the moments. Alright? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Black Popcorn. We'll see you on the next one.